Should you edit for free? A lot of you might say absolutely not. But what if I told you that one of my biggest paychecks as an editor came from a project that I initially worked on for free? I've been a pro editor for over 20 years and I really struggled with evaluating editing projects until I came up with the framework that I'm going to share with you today. Even if you're a hobbyist or only edit for yourself, I think there's some good wisdom in it for you too. And later in the video, I'll share how that free editing project became one of my most lucrative. I call my framework the 3 R's, and the first R stands for real. That's short for demo reel, which is a collection of your best work that you show potential clients in order to get more projects. So a project that satisfies the real criteria is one that you're proud of, is creatively fulfilling, and one that you'd want to include on your demo reel. Here's the tough thing about demo reels. People are going to hire you for the type of work that is already on your reel. So what if you've only done work that you don't really like and you want to do something different? It's a bit of a catch-22. For example, when I graduated from film school and opened up an edit suite in downtown Austin, the main way I paid the bills was editing corporate videos. And if I had put together a reel of corporate videos, what type of work would I have gotten? More corporate videos. And I didn't really want to do that. So how do you get work on your reel that you like? I'll answer that in a bit. The second R of the 3 R's is rate. This is how much you get paid for an editing project. A project satisfies the rate criteria if it pays you your asking rate or better. Simple as that. But should you ever take on a free editing project? I'll answer that too soon. The third and final R in my 3R framework stands for relationships. These are the people you're working for. For a project to satisfy the relationship criteria, they must be enjoyable or at least neutral to work with. But is there ever a time to work with somebody difficult? It's time to answer these questions. The key is to look at the 3 R's together. My simple formula: if you've got at least 2 out of 3, say yes. Let me show you what I mean with real examples from my career. First, let's talk about rate and relationship projects. This is a project where you're getting paid your rate, you're working with people you like, but it's not creatively fulfilling work. Remember that corporate job I told you about at the beginning? I loved the people I worked with and they paid my asking rate, but I was largely editing very boring corporate videos. That can be tough for those of us who got into this field to edit creative projects, but at the end of the day, I paid my rent and made some good connections. So overall, I'd say it was well worth it. Now let's talk about rate and reel projects. This is a project where you're getting paid your rate, it's creatively fulfilling, but you have to work with someone difficult. Earlier in my career, I remember getting an email for a full rate project with a great script. But when I asked around, I found out that the client had a bad reputation for being pretty difficult. I ended up taking the job. I made a great piece for my reel, I got paid, but I did have to persevere through some really difficult interactions. Luckily, the job was only a few weeks. It wasn't months or years. If it were longer, it may not have been worth it. But overall, in this case, I'm glad I took the job. Now let's talk about relationship and reel projects. This is where you're working with someone you like on a creatively fulfilling project, but you do it for free. I think this is the best way to get creative work on your reel that you want to do more of. And that's exactly what I was doing when I edited the 3D animated short film Pigeon Impossible. Writer-director Lucas Martel was, and still is, a good friend, and the project was extremely cool, so I said yes. Over the course of several years, I helped him develop the story and edited the animatics. When he launched it on YouTube, it became a viral hit, and a major film studio actually bought the short film and turned it into a feature called Spies in Disguise, starring Will Smith. Because of that, I ended up getting paid for my work after the fact, and I had a great piece on my reel. For those hobbyist editors out there, or those who are just editing for themselves, you are in this category of relationship and reel. I would just recommend you check in with yourself from time to time and make sure the projects you're working on are indeed creatively fulfilling and that you're only collaborating with people you really like. Because money's not a factor here, you have some leeway to be picky about these other 2 criteria. I have one caveat for those of you working on editing projects that only satisfy the rate criteria. Sometimes you have to work with difficult people on boring projects to pay your rent or support your family, and there's no shame in that. I've been there. I would suggest, however, you try to build your demo reel on the side with some relationship and reel projects in hopes of getting better paid work in the future. I'd love to hear what editing projects you're working on and which of the 3 R's they satisfy. And you might want to check out my free editing guide, which you can download at the link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, you should watch this one next. Happy editing.